Good morning, grade 8s, or afternoon, I guess, if you're watching in the afternoon. Welcome to another day of math here. Today is going to be a little bit different in that I'm going to do an answer key. I have these answer keys for yesterday's work and the day before, and I'm going to post those answer keys just as a PDF online, but I also want to go over them with you. Just like we do in class, we would go over the previous work and do examples just in case there's questions. So I'm going to work through those with you, question by question, just in case you have any other concerns or you're not exactly sure how this is going to go. Before I start math, a couple of things. Remember our office hours, we're kind of changing the focus of them because they're not just for asking academic questions. We want you guys checking in. So a couple times a week, we want you to come to one of my times or Miss Olson. It doesn't matter, whenever it's convenient for you. I'm always 11 a.m. till noon every school day. And Miss Olson, she's 10 to 11 for 3 days and then a couple of days in the afternoon. The schedule is up on the website. The other thing that's up on the homepage is a survey we want you to do. It's really short, really quick, little Google form, just how you're doing, what's working, what's not, how we could help you. So please do that. Last thing is there's still about 20 of you that haven't done your math quiz, which is quite a lot, seeing that was last Thursday. So make sure you do it. Take a picture of it, send it to me so I can assess it, okay? If you want your marks, I can give them to you, but you have to come to a Google Meet. It's not bribery, that's a promise. If you come to Google Meet, I promise I'll give you those. So, today, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start with this worksheet here that's called Drawing Net for 3D Shapes, okay? And there was 3 on there. There was a rectangular prism, a triangular prism, and a cylinder, okay? I'm gonna start there. It might seem a little bit out of order, but I'm also going to use these. So here is my rectangular prism that I built, okay? Remember, it has 3 pairs of equal sides. When I open this up, and you can open it up all kinds of different ways, but I think when you're getting used to drawing this net, the best thing to do is to open it up like a cross and picture it like this, right? You have 4 here, 4 rectangles, and then 2 off to the side. And that's the way, I'm not going to draw it, that's the way yours should look, okay? It should look just like this, right? Where this could be the base or the top, it doesn't really matter. For me, it's easiest to make this the base, the bottom of it, right? And then I've got the 2 sides that flop down, right? This is the other side that comes up. This is the side that connects to the top, and it all wraps around together, okay? So, I'm not going to draw it out. It is drawn out on the answer key, so you can look there, but that's what that should look like, okay? Now, when it comes to surface area of those, remember you just get the surface area of each one and add them together. When I have the triangular prism, like the next one, this triangle prism is a little bit different than the one on the drawing, in that this is made of right angles, okay? That one's not. But it's the same idea. When I open this up, I'm going to open it up like this, okay? Where I have the rectangles here and the triangles off to the side. The difference between this one and the one you're going to do, or the one you did, hopefully, is that my triangles off to the side aren't right angle triangles. The triangles off to the side, so if this is my middle rectangle, the triangles are just, they're more like equilateral triangles, okay? So the shape that you're going to get is more like this, okay? Now remember, this is only one way of doing it. I could turn this sideways. This whole thing could be turned sideways to look like this. So I'd have my rectangle here, and then above and below it, you'd have the triangles. So that's what that net's going to look like, all right? Now the third one is I think it's easiest if you picture like a pop can or a can of soup, right? And if I were to cut that vertically, that can, I would get a shape that looks like this. Okay, so here's my cylinder. Okay, and it has, I'm not taped up here, so just bear with me. It looks like this, right? It looks like, think of a can of pop or something. Now if I were to cut this vertically and open this up, I end up with a rectangle and 2 circles, and it should look like this. You can do it like this too, that's fine, right? I just kind of tend to keep the base like this. Now this line right here, this base of this rectangle is the circumference of the circle, right? As I bend this back into shape, you can see that the distance around that circle, the circumference, becomes the length of that rectangle. So that's the answer key for the first one. You just had to draw those 3 shapes. The second one, it's very similar. The first one is a rectangular prism, right? So if I were to just draw that out, right, I could draw the base of that rectangle, okay? And then you have sides that are on on either sides of that base, right? And then you have the top, right? If this is the base, you have the top, and these two have to be the same, okay? And then off the base, you have the sides, okay? And that's all you have to do, right? The triangular prism looks just like that, right? It looks just like it. Looks very much like the one we drew there, okay? So very similar stuff, not very difficult to do. You just have to practice. If it seems weird, if it seems different, it's because it's new, right? So I wish you were here so we could practice drawing in class and I could come around and show you, but we're not. So do your best with this. If you have questions, come and visit me and we can actually do it together over video. The page 187, I don't know if this can focus on this or not, these bottom two questions, you had to do the surface area of the shape and the volume of the shape. And I'm going to post this answer key for you. But I'll walk you through how to do it. Okay, that's kind of today's lesson, more or less. So what I would do for these is this. Oh, this brush is not erasing very well. Let's see if this one erases better. Not really. All right, so what I would do for these, some of you are able to visualize this, and that's great. Others of you are going to need to maybe draw this out. Okay, it's a 14 by 5 by 6 rectangle, okay? So if I were going to make a net of this, right, it would look like this. Okay, this is the base of my rectangle, which is 14 by 5, okay? And then I have the side coming off that, and then this other side that's the same, okay? And then I have the top that's the same as the bottom there. Okay, and then I have these rectangles on each side, okay? Right, so the bottom of this is a 14 by 5, okay? That means the top is also a 14 by 5. Each one of the sides is 14 by 6, right? 14 by 6, 14 by 6. So you can see all the dimensions here, right? 5, 5, 5, and then the two ends are 5 by 6. Okay, so right off the 14, you have 5 here, and this is 6. So you can see all the different dimensions of all of these. Now I need to get the surface area of all those rectangles so I can add them together. Because when you put them back together into a rectangular prism, that's the outside of that box. Now I'm going to grab a calculator here. Some of these aren't super easy to do in my head. Now you can sort this out. You could do area equals base times height and do the formula for every single one. Or you could do this. I would probably, if I drew this out, I would do it like this. The area of this rectangle is 14 by 6. So I would just go 14 times 6, because base times height. So I have 84 centimeters squared. I also know that this is 14 by 6, so it would be 84 centimeters squared, right? This is the base, and it's 14 by 5. So 14 times 5 is 70 centimeters squared. And this is also 14 by 5, so that's 70 centimeters squared, right? Not hard, you're just getting the area of rectangles. This is 5 by 6, so that's 30 centimeters squared. This is also 5 by 6, so that's 30 centimeters squared. So if I add up 30 and 30 and 84 and 84 and 70 and 70, if I add all of those together, I should get 368 centimeters squared. And that's the surface area of that shape, okay? Now the volume is different because the volume, I just need to get the surface area of the face of it, or one of the faces, and then multiply by the depth of it. So if I get the surface area of the front, which is 14 by 6, and then multiply that by the depth, which is 5, I get 420 centimeters cubed. But we've already done a bunch of volume, so if you don't understand that, take a step back. I'm not going to focus on volume today. Go back. Last week I had lots of volume videos. Watch those again. Then the last question on here is a triangular prism. Okay, so what I need to do for that, I don't need to, I guess, draw it out, but if I want to draw it out, or if I'm struggling with how to do this, and I'm not exactly sure, remember, my triangular prism is going to look like this. When I open up into a net, right, it's going to look like this, or like this. Now this one is a right angle, so it is going to look similar to this. So when I draw this out, I can get the area of these 3 rectangles, these 2 triangles, and just add them all together. So I am just going to draw it out. So I'll do the base of my triangular prism, okay? And then I have a piece at the top here, and it's not going to be to scale. I'm just going to draw it quickly, okay? And then I have my triangles coming off the side. And then if I look at the dimensions, these triangles are 6 by, oh, this is definitely not to scale. Let me change my triangles just a little bit. 6 and this is 8. 6 and 8. Okay, those are my triangles. And the rectangles are 20 by, these ones are 20 by 6. Okay, so 20 by 6. Then I have a 20 by 8 and a 20 by 10. Okay, so, and it doesn't really matter which one you do in which order because it depends on the orientation of the triangle. So the base is 20 by 6, then you have a 20 by 10, and a 20 by 8. So that's the dimensions of all the different rectangles and triangles that make up that triangular prism. Now I can take my calculator and just do the area of each one. So the base times height is 160, right? Centimeters squared. Not very good one there. Okay. Now I don't have any of the same rectangles because they're all three different ones because all three sides of the triangle are different. This is a 20 by 6, so that's 120 centimeters squared. This is 20 by 10, so it's 200 centimeters squared. So three different rectangles with three different surface areas. Now my triangles, remember triangle is base times height divided by 2. So 8 times 6 divided by 2, and I get 24 centimeters squared for each one of these. So 24 centimeters squared, 24 centimeters squared. So now I just add up all the surface areas. 160 plus 120 plus 200 plus 24 plus 24, and I should get 528 centimeters squared. And that's it. That's surface area. Volume would be this, right? The area of one of the ends, 24, and then multiply that by how long this prism is, 20, and you would get 480 centimeters cubed for volume. That is it. I know I'm moving really quickly in this video, but you can watch it again. Watch it again. You can come and ask me questions. You can go back and look at yesterday's and the day before's and last week's just to figure this out, okay? So if that helps, awesome. If it doesn't, watch it again. If it doesn't still then, come and see me at Google Meet and we'll work through this together, okay? Have a really good day, guys. Make sure that you do the survey. Make sure you do your math test. Make sure you're checking in every day. Make sure you're coming to meet with us a couple times a week, okay? Really miss you. Love to see you. This is definitely not the same, I understand, but you know, we're making the best of it. Take care, everybody.